Hello and welcome back to Money Never Sleeps. My name is Mac from M&A Wealth. If you'd like more information about what you hear during the show, give us a call at 866-973-3627 or visit us online at mnawealth.com. And while at my website, click on the page to check out past shows and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. There's a question I get asked more than almost any other, and it usually sounds something like this: am I behind? Sometimes people are asking about a specific goal. Sometimes it's more of a general feeling or a nagging sense that maybe retirement isn't as far away as it used to feel, and maybe the savings aren't where they should be. During the show today, we'll be pulling data and insights from a recent Kiplinger article that's headlined "The Average Retirement Savings by Age." And I want to say up front that this isn't about making anyone feel bad. I think the most important thing we can do today is give you an honest picture of where the country stands and then talk about what to do about it. Because the numbers tell a story, and I believe understanding that story is the first step toward writing a better one for yourself. Before we get into the age-by-age breakdown, let's talk about how we're looking at the data. When we talk about averages, there are two kinds that matter here: mean and median. The mean is what most people think of as average. The median is the middle number, and half of people are above it, half are below. When it comes to retirement savings, the mean can be misleading because a relatively small number of very wealthy households can pull that number way up. I think the median gives us a much more honest picture of what the typical American actually has. Let's walk through it, age group by age group. For those under 35, the median retirement savings is $18,350. For most people in this group, the most powerful asset isn't the dollar amount, it's time. Starting early, even with small contributions, allows compound growth to do the heavy lifting. Ages 35 to 44, the median jumps to $45,000. Common benchmarks suggest having 1 to 3 times your annual salary saved by this stage. For a lot of people, $45,000 is behind that benchmark, but the compounding engine is still running strong in this decade, and it's not too late. Ages 45 to 54, median savings of $115,000. I think this is often the wake-up call decade. The kids might be leaving the house, the mortgage might be more manageable, and suddenly people look at their retirement accounts and realize there's some catching up to do. The good news is this is also when incomes tend to be highest, and targeted contributions can make a real difference. Now here's the number I think deserves the most attention. For people ages 55 to 64, or those who are roughly within a decade of retirement, the median savings are $185,000. According to recent survey data shared in the article, the figure Americans say they need to retire comfortably in 2026 is $1.46 million. That's up $200,000 from last year's figure. When you put $185,000 next to $1.46 million, you can see why so many people feel the way they do when they look at their statements. For the 65 to 74 group, median savings are $200,000, which is actually a bit higher than the pre-retirement group, suggesting some people are still contributing in early retirement. Then at 75 and over, the median drops to $130,000, reflecting ongoing drawdowns. Even in retirement, the picture isn't static. How you manage distributions, when you claim Social Security, and how you handle healthcare costs shapes the trajectory. So how did we get here? A few reasons worth understanding. First, and this surprises a lot of people, more than half of American households report having no dedicated retirement savings at all. 0. The total assets in retirement accounts in the U.S. recently crossed $49.1 trillion, which sounds enormous. But that wealth is concentrated among a relatively small group of consistent savers. The gap between that group and everyone else is what makes the national picture so uneven. It's rarely because people don't want to save. For most people, it comes down to cash flow. Rent, childcare, healthcare, student loans, all those basics consume the budget, especially in your 20s and 30s. And behaviorally, we tend to respond to what's urgent over what's important. Retirement doesn't feel urgent until suddenly it does. Here's a number that puts the cost of waiting in perspective. $10,000 invested at age 30, assuming a 7% average annual return, could grow to roughly $106,000 by age 65. That same $10,000 invested at age 45 might grow to around $38,000. Same money, same return rate. 15 fewer years of compounding makes nearly a $70,000 difference on a single investment. The compounding argument isn't meant to make people who started late feel hopeless. It's meant to motivate people who haven't started yet. Every dollar that goes in today starts compounding today. Now let's get practical. The strategies look a little different depending on where you are in life, so let's walk through them by decade. In your 20s and 30s, the single most important move is to get started. If your employer offers a 401k match, contribute at least enough to capture the full match. That's an immediate 100% return before the market does anything. And consider what I call the raise rule, which is that every time you get a salary increase, commit half of that raise to your retirement contributions before it ever touches your checking account. Your take-home still goes up, but so does your future. Lifestyle inflation is one of the quietest enemies of retirement savings, and this sidesteps it entirely. In your 40s, think about front-loading, getting contributions into the market earlier in the year rather than spreading them across 12 months gives that money more time to grow. For 2026, the 401k contribution limit is $23,500. If your cash flow allows it, I believe maxing that out should be a priority. At 50, catch-up contributions kick in. For 2026, that's an additional $8,000 in 401k contributions, bringing the total to $32,500 for the year. For IRAs, the catch-up brings your total annual contribution to $8,600. These higher ceilings could make a meaningful difference across a 10 to 15 year stretch. And here's one that's genuinely underutilized. If you're between ages 60 and 63, a super catch-up provision allows for $11,250 in additional 401k contributions, bringing the annual ceiling to $35,750. Most people don't know this exists. If you're in that window and have the cash flow to take advantage of it, it could be a real game changer. For those already near or in retirement, two strategies I think are worth highlighting. First, delay Social Security as long as you can. For every year you wait past your full retirement age, up to age 70, your monthly benefit generally increases by around 8%. That's a reliable, inflation-adjusted return that's very hard to replicate in the open market, and for many people it adds up to tens of thousands of dollars in additional lifetime benefits. Second, consider downsizing earlier than you think you need to. If the kids have moved out and you're carrying a home larger than you need, the equity in that home and the reduction in property taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs can free up significant cash flow, either for contributions or for reducing your monthly burn rate in retirement. The data we've covered today is sobering. For a lot of people, the gap between where they are and where they'd like to be is real. But I also believe the worst thing someone can do is see these numbers and shut down. The question isn't whether you started perfectly, the question is what you do from here. And the first step is simply knowing where you stand. Pull up your 401k balance, your IRA, any accounts you're treating as retirement savings. Look at the total. Compare it to the benchmarks we talked about today. And if you haven't already, I think a conversation with a qualified financial services professional is one of the highest value things you can do. Not because you need someone to tell you you're behind, but because a good advisor helps you build a plan that works for your specific situation. If you have any questions we've talked about today has raised questions, visit my website at mnawealth.com or call my office at 866-973-3627 to discuss how my team might be able to answer your questions and address your concerns. It's our goal to help you prepare for the retirement you've worked so hard for.
Disclosure. All matters discussed during the show are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed are solely those of M&A Wealth and staff. All topics covered are believed to be from reliable sources. However, M&A Wealth makes no representations as to its accuracy or completeness. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services to residents where permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through M&A Wealth, a registered investment advisor in the state of Texas. Insurance products and services are offered through PNC Life Insurance Agency, an affiliated company. M&A Wealth and PNC Life Insurance Agency are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any government agency.